There's slurs.
Yeah, come on, man. I hope. Good thing no one hops on right away, because the first thing they ever heard, no slurs. Oh man.
It's not like we've ever said one.
No, we have. You're right, we haven't. Dude, I was
But you
playing.
wanted to be sure.
I was playing
For the
Modern
new-
Warfare 2 yesterday with Dylan.
Oh, no.
It's so much fun. All right, let me get the link out, and then I'm ready to go.
Can you hear about chewing?
No.
Hey, nice film there, Birdie.
Thanks. I'll paste.
Are we doing World Cup first?
Sure, we can. Cause then,
Whatever
yeah, let's do
you
that.
guys need to-
That's easier, cause then we could get all the wise picks. We talked about the Panthers, do all that jazz.
Oh God, the Panthers.
Oh yeah, you knew they were coming up. You knew they had to be mentioned.
They're
You
good.
love talking about the Panthers.
They've been our blueprint team for years. All right, let's get this started then. Yeah, we'll start with some World Cup.
Alrighty.
And then, all right. So what we'll do is we'll start with the World Cup, do our picks, end off the NFL discussion with Antonio Brown, then switch to Kanye.
Oh yes.
Boom. And then I'll just get my take at the end and see your guys' reaction. All right. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Well, we have a special guest in the house tonight. Another graduate of good old 2020 South River, Mr. Nicholas Merton.
How's it going?
How are you doing, Nick? How's Virginia Tech?
It ain't bad, you know. Football team had a rough year, but I'm just happy to be on the show.
Yeah, the football team, they need to start Jason Brown, Columbia legend.
We decided to go with the quarterback who decided to play one quarter phenomenally, and then the last 3 quarters could barely get a first down, and it didn't work out too well.
You guys are a basketball school now.
Yeah, no, we're basketball. We're easily a basketball school now. We have UNC coming up on Sunday.
That's huge. You guys should beat them.
They've had a rough start to the year.
Yeah.
Well, we can get to that later if we want to do some college corner, but we're here. We brought you in specifically, Nick, because America plays again tomorrow in the World Cup at 10 a.m. and we're 2 football bozos that don't know anything about football, so we brought you in to give us a little preview coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very close game. The Netherlands, they're probably the favorites, but they're also a young team. USA is the 3rd youngest team going into this World Cup, and the other 2 youngest teams below us are both out of the tournament. So going into the knockout rounds, we're going to be the youngest team, youngest players. But that being said, we're one of the few teams that went the entire group stage without losing. We had 2 draws, one of them being against a very good England team. The one against Wales was a bad defensive error, in my opinion, and we should have probably won that game. But against Iran, we cleaned it up and we went through. The only thing that's worrying is we start the game really well. We always look like first half we're going to go up. We just finished kind of slow, and towards the end, I don't know if you guys watched the Iran game. I'm sure you did. But towards the end, it was rough at the end. We were not looking good, and Iran almost scored like 2 different times. And so I think it's gonna be a close game. I fancy us to maybe go through. I think we have I think this is one of the easier opponents we could have gotten going into the round of 16. So I think we have a chance. I'm hoping we go through. I think if we do though, then it's gonna be rough because then I think after that we'd have to play France or it's either France or Argentina. And that's gonna be probably the end of our run if we do.
Argentina, they're choke artists.
They are choke artists, but I don't know if we're gonna be the ones that make them choke.
Fair enough. So
So
what's the
okay.
U.S. like game plan going into this game? Is it like I don't know anything about soccer game plans, but is it like are they better than us to the point where we're just kind of like gonna putz around for 90 minutes and like try
I
not
don't
to get
think
in
so.
any dangerous situation?
I think we should take the same approach we did against England, where we should go out in the first half, play them like head to head, try and go toe to toe with them. They're pressing us, we should press them back. Try and force a mistake out of them, because if we can get an early goal or two, we have the defense to just sit back and defend a lead if we need to. I mean, we've done it against England, we did it against Iran. We can sit back, but I don't know. I don't know if I like our chances if it goes to extra time or penalties. Because we have a good starting 11, but when you get to our bench, it's where it's a big drop off. We don't have too many people that can come up off the bench. While Netherlands have a little bit more depth that they can bring someone on and they'll do just as fine.
So speaking of depth and players coming off the bench, is Pulisic going to be able to play?
I just got the notification 1 hour ago. His penis is fine and he is clear to play on tomorrow morning.
Yes. So he's by far the best player on the team, correct?
Yes. He is the star. He's of course the one everyone's going to talk about, and he's not the captain, which I actually like because he doesn't have to worry about controlling the entire team. He can just go out there, be the game winner, the goal scorer, anything he needs to be for the team. And it's good now because he's not the only one on the team that can be the difference. We've now got a couple around him, but when it comes down to it, he is going to be our best player. He is going to be the one that if he's playing well, we have a good chance of going through.
Who's going to be some of those other players that you just mentioned coming in and giving him some relief, I guess?
I think the main one is Tyler Adams. He's the defensive midfielder. We only play one defensive midfielder, and he's the only one. But throughout the group stage, he's been by far the best player we've had. He's the captain as well for the team at, I think he's 21 or 22. Wow. So he's young, but captaining, doing pretty well with it. Defensively, helping the back line a ton, playing balls forward to spring quick counterattacks. So he's definitely going to be one of the most important players. Another one that's been lively is Weah on the right side. He scored the goal against Wales. I think he's going to be important if we want to. We need to attack the flanks like we've been doing. So he's going to be important on that right side. Another that's kind of gone unspoken is our right back, Serginho Dest. He used to play on Barcelona. He moved to, I think, AC Milan. So he's been playing. He's 20 right now, I think, around that age. So he's been playing across these for a while. But he's a very attacking fullback. So he's a defender, but he likes to get up the field. He likes to support the wingers, put crosses in, run up against defenders. The only thing that's worrisome is he does get caught up field. Like he'll be rushing with the ball up the right wing, and then he'll lose it, and then that entire space on the right side of our half is open. So I think he's going to need to have a good game. And the last one coming off the bench is Brendan Aronson, number 11. He's come off the bench on every single one of our games, and he's been playing really well. I'm surprised he's not starting. I think he might be just a little bit better than who we have playing there right now, but he comes off. He brings a lot of energy. Him coming on in the second half should definitely be something to look for tomorrow morning.
He's 20. I'm looking at him right now. 22 years old, and he looks every bit of 22. He looks like he's 19.
Yeah, he looks like a child.
he's a He's a young guy. So these guys, so they play. Do most of these guys play in the American League, in like the MLS?
Surprisingly not. It used to be, we used to have a ton, but most of a lot of our bench do, but the majority of people that have been in our starting 11 are made up of a lot of people that play the Premier League, or in like Germany, Italy. Um,
That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah,
that's probably better
very
for
good
us.
time. We've been needing people that play across these and kind of get better than what the MLS can make them be, which Pulisic is the reason that all started, and that's why, because he was the first American to go overseas and make a name for himself, and now you got Tyler Adams, Aronson, Reyna, all of these people that we're now seeing in the starting 11 followed the same exact route he did, going to Germany, Italy, Spain, wherever else, playing in a foreign team and then making a name across seas and then coming back and playing for the U.S. and doing really well.
So someone who you haven't mentioned, but I've recognized his name is Sergio Dest.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a defender, and I don't know much about him, but is he been playing well this tournament?
So far he's been one of the good pieces of our attack. I think he does a lot of running because he likes to get up the field. So he does a lot of running, and usually he can't play the full 90. And I'm not a big fan of our backup for him. I think his name's Moore. But I think for what he does do, I think he's a must start in the team. He does a lot when it comes to springing our attacks. Like, let's see, he wins the ball back, and immediately he looks to get it upfield to one of the wingers, get a quick attack going. And I think him having a good game, and especially with Netherlands have a very young, very exciting winger, Cody Gakpo. He's been one of the main talks around the Netherlands team and especially his club team. He's been looked at by a lot of big teams. And him going against Dest is going to be one of the big things that's going to be looked at, because if Dest can't lock him down and keep him from creating things, then defensively we're going to be in trouble.
What about Zimmerman? Because
Zimmerman, your boy.
at the end of the Iran game, it felt like they said Zimmerman's name a bunch. He kept getting those headers, like clearing the ball out. And then you told me on Twitter that he cost us the game.
Zimmerman, exactly. Against Iran, he did incredible. He cleared everything that came his way. And then against Wales, he cost us the win. So it's, what kind of game is he going to have? Is he going to have that game where he clears everything, or is he going to make a mistake that could potentially knock us out of the tournament? I'm not sure if he starts. I think Carter Vickers, we brought in against Iran, played pretty decent in the first 55 minutes he was in until Zimmerman came on. It'll be interesting. It's a toss-up between the two of them, which one starts.
So we have a comment. Mr. Walker Lewis, he says that he thinks that DeAndre Yeldon should play over Moore when they come in.
Yeldon, I think experience-wise, if we're ahead come the 60th, 70th minute, I think Yedlin should come in, because he's the only player in this entire team that's played in a World Cup before. The rest of our starting 11 and bench.
Damn.
Yeah, Yedlin's the only one that was a part of that team 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the only one that has the experience going into these knockout rounds and playing these types of games. So I think if we're ahead and we need someone that can come in, lock down our defense, I think Yedlin definitely should be coming in over Moore when it comes down to it. Going forward, I'm not convinced with Yedlin. So I think if we're losing, he shouldn't. If it's still a draw, I think Yedlin's still a better choice. I think it just comes down to how we can set up ourselves, and if we can get. I think an early lead for the U.S. is very important tomorrow.
Yeah, and just try to control the ball game after that.
Exactly.
So besides the guy you already mentioned, you said the Netherlands have this young phenomenal player. What other weapons should we be worried about on the Netherlands side?
Um, they're set pieces. So the Netherlands, they have Virgil van Dijk, which is very tall, very strong center back, and on any set pieces, whether it's corners, free kicks, he needs to be marked by probably two guys just to make sure he doesn't score because he's known for getting in on corners and scoring headers and winning them games from it. So Van Dijk is definitely one that needs to be marked. Another one is Memphis Depay, which is on the other wing. And it'll be interesting to see if Netherlands do a front three with a striker in between them, or if they just do a dual striker with Gakpo and Depay. But he's similar to Gakpo, where he has speed, he has dribbling skills, and he has a very good shot on if he cuts inside. So it's going to be down to Destin Robinson to really deal with the Netherlands' two wide players and making sure that they don't get too many crosses in against us. And speaking of crosses, our crosses suck. The U.S. is horrific at crossing the ball. I can't count the amount of corners we've taken where it went to the guy at the near post and just got headed away.
That's like the England game, right? I remember watching
England
that. There
game,
was almost a nice cross right to a goal, and he missed it.
Yeah, and our crossing has been really poor past couple games. That's something we get away with it against Wales and against Iran because it's Wales and Iran. But you go against the Netherlands, every chance, every goal is gonna count because they could easily turn around a 1-0 to a 2-1 like in 5 minutes. They're that kind of team.
So
that's scary because the games so far have been so low scoring. Like
that's what
are we expecting goals in this game?
I think expect this similar to what we've been doing. I expect us to get one or two.
So no goals.
Well, we're gonna have to score eventually. So I'm expecting us to get one or two. I would love to see us shut them out, clean sheet. I don't know if it'll happen. I mean, we did against England, which we can do it. We showed we could do it. It's just gonna be down to can we get an early goal? Because the more we leave it late, the worse it's gonna get for us.
So right now on if you could look on Google, they have like the preview for the game and the stats. Their win probability, they have the Netherlands at 50%, a draw at 28%, and the US only at 22%. Do you see that
How did we
accurate?
draw?
Or
I thought it was the knockout stage.
Yeah, we can't. Well, I guess they saying draw is in like go to penalties.
Okay.
I'd say that's fair regarding how both teams have been playing because the Netherlands had an easy group though. They had Qatar, Senegal,
first team eliminated.
Who else? Yeah, they had a very easy group going into this, so they haven't really had a test. That's the only thing I think USA might have a little bit going into this is because they've been tested by England. Iran was top 20 ranked going into this tournament, so it's not like they were a bad team. And then Wales have some really good players. They're just old. So USA has been tested, and they've shown they can do it. It's up to whether or not we play our very best, and it's also a little bit down to our coach and how he sets us up against this team. Because if he sets us up to sit back and just try and absorb pressure and counterattack, I think we're going to get beat if we try and do that. I think we need to take the game to the Netherlands, and we need to play them toe to toe. We need to act like we are a big team that can keep going through this, or else we're eventually going to get beat up by one of these big teams that from now on, it's going to be all top 10, top 15 ranked teams in the world. So
we got to act like we've been there.
Yeah, and if we want to be there, we need to go head to head against them, and we can't just sit back and let them play against us and hope that we can spring a counterattack, get a quick goal. It's not going to work out. Even if it works out tomorrow, it ain't going to work out in the round of 8.
Like
I
that.
mean, that's the American way. Like we take the fight to them, right? We haven't fought
Exactly.
war on our own soil since like 1812.
I think,
Whatever that's worth.
Yeah. And I like that. We got to play our own game. We can't let these countries come in and start playing their style of football. We need to play some soccer out there.
Exactly. It's called soccer.
All right. So that was a great preview for the US game. What other crazy things have happened in the World Cup that Chris and I just haven't really noticed?
Oh man. Yesterday should be a good place to start. So Group E was a lot called the Group of Death going into this World Cup, because you had first drawn in as Spain, which one of the best teams in the world. Then you had Germany also drawn into that group, which already saying you'd expect those two to go through. Germany won the World Cup 8 years ago. Spain won it 12 years ago. So two very successful teams. And then you have Japan as the third pick and Costa Rica coming in at the end. And so Japan coming in had a lot of criticism going around because a lot of people didn't think they were super great. They kind of were hit or miss. Costa Rica was always going to be the one that never qualified. Everyone kind of dismissed them. But going into yesterday's game, you had Spain in first, Japan in second in the group after beating Germany 2-1. And then you had Germany in third and Costa Rica in fourth. And yesterday, around halftime, Spain was winning 1-0 against Japan, and Germany was winning, I think, 2-0 against Costa Rica, or 1-0 against Costa Rica, one of those. So at the time, it was Spain and Germany going through, everything was fine. But there was 1 minute where Japan scored 2 goals, and Japan was then beating Spain 2-1. And Costa Rica was beating Germany 2-1. And in the 1.5 minutes of that happening, Japan would go through and Costa Rica would go through, knocking out Spain and Germany. But Japan went on to actually win the game. And so Japan topped the group, which no one saw coming. And Germany ended up being fully eliminated with Costa Rica.
Wait, so now Germany and Costa Rica are both out?
Yep, Germany and Costa Rica are both out.
So
and
even though
Japan
Germany
and Spain
won 4-2, they're
yeah,
still
so
out?
even though Germany won, Japan's win knocked them out. So
Wow.
Germany needed Japan to at least draw or lose to Spain. And Japan, it was basically Japan going into the game. You win, you're automatically through, and you top the group. And they came out in the second half and 2-1 with some people saying controversial goal, but it was a goal nonetheless. And it's definitely one of the most historic moments for Japanese soccer going through. Another one, Australia upsetting Denmark to go through the World Cup round of 16.
Yeah, Denmark 2-1.
Australia was a playoff, so they have like the last spot for a lot of groups go to like a playoff between a couple teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like the worst teams do a playoff to get that last spot. Yeah. Australia was one of those teams, and now they qualified for the round of 16 over Denmark. Wow. Which not a lot of people saw coming.
Denmark is supposed to be good.
Denmark were semifinalists for the Euros. So they were up in the top 10 ranked teams.
Oh.
Belgium, who was ranked number 2 in the world, fell out of the group yesterday.
They're ranked number 2 in the world.
Against Croatia. They were number 2 in the world. This was said to be their golden generation of soccer players. This was after finishing after finishing third in the World Cup, the last World Cup. Belgium was supposed to be one of the favorites to go in and win this one, and they do not make it out of the group. Morocco top the group, which is ridiculous to think about.
Good for Morocco.
And then just this morning, South Korea with a 91st minute goal to knock out Uruguay and go through with Portugal.
Doesn't Uruguay have the guy who bites people?
Yeah, Suarez. He got
Yeah.
subbed out before he could bite anyone today.
Okay.
Although some of the Uruguay players tried to fight the referee after the full-time whistle,
Oh.
which was entertaining to say the least. But yeah, I think that covers a lot of the big upsets. I mean, you got some of the round of 16 matches already set up. I think some of the most exciting will probably be the Netherlands, US, France and Poland, and then probably Japan, Croatia. The rest, it's pretty, like, you got Australia, Argentina should be a pretty easy win for Argentina. England should beat Senegal. Then again, England, you never know what you're getting. So, and same with Senegal. So that could be one to maybe watch. But Morocco, Spain, even though Morocco's been playing very well, Spain's just one of the best in the world. Spain should be able to win that game. And then the final two matches are getting done right now. It looks like it'll be Brazil and South Korea going against each other, and then Portugal versus Switzerland. That should be a good game. Portugal-Switzerland should be one to watch.
So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities for some of these teams to upset, because you're saying,
yeah.
it should be easy win. So that would just add some more chaos into this World Cup and be a benefit to the U.S., honestly.
Honestly, if U.S. can just keep on putting in good forms and moving up, you never know what can happen. I ain't saying we're gonna go win it. I think we could match our best run in the tournament, though. I think we could definitely get to the quarterfinals. My underdogs, I'm going with Japan. They played Germany. They won 2-1. Second half, they were all over Germany. They lost to Costa Rica, which was very odd. But then they come back, they play Spain, and 1-0 down at halftime, come back. Second half, play great and win 2-1 there. So Japan, I think, is definitely my one to watch to maybe make a dark horse run deep in the tournament.
Good for Japan. And this you said earlier, this program kind of came out of nowhere, right?
Out of nowhere. Last World Cup, they were decent. They played well, but they ended up falling short to Belgium, which it was a very good Belgium team, so everyone understood. But they had some players that aged. They had a lot of people that retired. They didn't really know what their team was going to look like, but they came in with a lot of young guys, and the young guys are playing very well for them. Kind of like the U.S., it's a very similar situation where they needed to flush out the old, bring in new young guns, and I'm happy for them. I mean, for them to get out of that group of death was huge.
Sounds kind of like your Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
I think Gamecocks.
Big wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. This was a great preview. I definitely needed this. It got me excited for these games. So if it's
quick little segment to get them all going. Round of 16. There's only a handful of games left, but these are the ones that are most fun because draws then go to extra time, and then we got the good old penalty kicks, which everyone enjoys.
All right.
So penalty kicks, okay. Are they like? Is it like a coin flip once you get to penalty kicks? Like who's gonna win, or do certain teams have like being a better team on the field? Does that make you much better in penalty kicks?
No, penalty kicks. Everything's up in the air. It's basically down to it's down to who plays the more mental games, who can beat those mental games, and at that point, you could have Morocco, Spain going to penalties. I can't pick a winner. It's flip of the coin. You never know.
I see. If I was a really good team, that would really make me mad. But
exactly, that the good teams do not want to go to penalty kicks.
You also have like an hour 20 minutes with extra time.
Yeah. So you've already played 2 hours of game time, and now you got to go kick a ball that could decide whether you go through or you're out.
Yeah.
And every
It is
ball is almost like a
selective stuff.
50-50 chance depending on where the goalie jumps.
Exactly.
Oof.
And goalies are playing games. They're going side to side, trying to get in your head. I saw a clip of Australia qualified through penalties, and the Australian goalkeeper was doing like dances on the goal line while the kicker was waiting to do his kick. Fully got the guy's head and saved every single one.
Wow. Mind games,
Love
mental
that.
games. So,
Australians are tricky.
has there been any team that you have watched that like their strategy or their game plan has just wowed you or really put the team above and reason why they've won some of these games?
I mean, of course, you look at France. They won it last time. I was kind of hoping there's something called the World Cup curse, where if you win the World Cup, the next World Cup you usually do pretty shitty. Hoping for that was France this year, but they haven't really shown any signs of it. They've played pretty well, topped their group. They've got just an abundance of good players, which is annoying at times. I think they are definitely one that their strategy going in, it's just going to be to control the game 24/7. I think a team that I liked watching through the group, I would say, again, I already spoke on Japan. Japan is definitely a fun one to watch. I think you got to look at Morocco. Honestly, Morocco's game plans going into some of these games has been oddly working. They sit back a good bit, but they're a big counterattacking team, and their front players have been doing really well. Same with the U.S. Our formation has been a little bit different than what we usually play. We're doing 4 at the back, and we only have the one CDM, but our 2 center mids, McKennie and Musa, who starts, and then Aronson probably will come in for Musa. But those 2 midfielders have been playing really advanced, which is why we've been dominating a lot of the games we played. So you look at that, it's encouraging. It's an encouraging sign for the U.S. going forward. But it should lead to an entertaining game because we can get caught with too many people forward, and then we can get caught on the break and have Netherlands counterattacking us. So I think the USA has a very good lineup formation set up, and then I also think that Japan and Morocco, other than these really, of course, big favorite teams like France, Spain, Argentina, I think those are 2 also that are set up really well to maybe give these big teams a run.
Sweet.
I think we're gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic about this one. I really think that if we can finish the game strong for once, I think we have a very good shot at this.
Go shock the world.
Yeah, let's go shock the world, baby. Let's go USA.
Politics got to sacrifice another nut for the
for the states. He's doing it for the states.
For the state.
All right. So speaking of the states, let's move on to something the wise guys know a little more about. A little something we can add some input to. Let's go to some good old American football, and we're starting off with some wise picks. So, we have a surprise. I mean, you picked three picks yourself. So we'll go.
I did.
I since I got first, I'll go me, Chris, and then you name off your first pick. So I have the Vikings -3 at home versus the Jets. The Mike White Cinderella story. It's done. Clock struck midnight. We saw this last year. He had that one good game. I think it was week 8. That he just played out of his mind, and then he reverted back to the backup quarterback. Yeah, he did get hurt, but he still reverted back when he did play to his backup status. I just don't see the Jets rattling off one in Minnesota. This Vikings team's been playing really good, And I just think if it was in New York, maybe I'd give the Jets a little more of a chance. But in Minnesota, I mean, you're going as the underdog, of course, and I'm riding with the Vikings.
It's Kirk Cousins at 1 p.m.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
Yeah.
and
whatever that's worth, which I think is a lot. It's weird. I was surprised at this line though. Like you're giving the home team 3 points. You're basically saying that like on a neutral field that this is an even game.
yeah, that's
Which
why I really took the
I don't
pick.
know.
And
I mean, Minnesota has kind of been fraudulent all year, but you're right. We really did tear Mike White a new one on Tuesday. Like for having a good game, we just ripped him apart. So I don't know. This is like almost a pride pick.
yeah, a
Like
pride,
we
a
said,
pride that about
shit on him
our
so much.
Mike
Like
White
they
thing.
better win.
So
But I like it.
what I'm excited about is just on a watching standpoint is Justin Jefferson versus Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner has been a great corner, a great rookie corner, and has I'm not really wowed the league. We thought he was going to be this good, but he's lived up to his what 5th overall pick status, and he's been locking up wide receivers left and right. So going up against, I think he's becoming the best in the league, Justin Jefferson. So it's going to be a good matchup.
Could get a little welcome to the league type game.
Mm-hmm.
Say there could be a little bit of
Like you think you're the best already. Like
Yeah. Let me
yeah,
pull you.
it could be a
is
little bit of
this is
schooling
what it
going
looks
on.
like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what's your
I hope
first
so.
pick?
I need it for fantasy. I'm taking the Bengals plus 1.5 against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs have looked so dominant that they're due for a game where they're a little bit off. And I think the Bengals could be catching them right at the right time. We talked about the Bengals on Tuesday, how they're like just starting to hit their stride. Everyone kind of forgot about them. They went to the Super Bowl last year, and it's like no one's even talking about them. It's going back. So they've been quietly, rising up the ranks of the NFL again, just like they did last year. And I think this is the game where it's like, oh, that's right, the Bengals are pretty damn good too.
I like it. I think that with getting Jamar Chase back, it's a perfect game for it. The Chiefs, I mean, they've been as you said, they've been playing dominant throughout this whole year, and we talked about it on Tuesday. 26 points against the Rams is, the Rams are garbage. They should be scoring more than that, and to get the Bengals here, I like it. At home, a little bit of revenge, I guess, for the Chiefs, right? But
yes,
I
tried to go revenge pick last week and it didn't work.
That's true.
So,
and
I like it's also a very low line. Getting 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 is pretty. It's a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, so that makes me raise an eyebrow.
Do you know what the money is on this game? Because I don't. I'm just asking you.
I usually do look that up before.
Because I was thinking this could be the line is close, this close because the money's on the Bengals right now, but I still like it. I think that the 1.5 at home, they could still lose by 1. I think it's gonna be a shootout, and this is gonna be one of those games where whoever gets the ball last is probably gonna end up winning this game.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that.
The stream didn't get it, so you're going bold.
The 4.5. Philly looked so good last week because of Green Bay's horrendous defensive line and how badly they could not stop them. I think they have a little shocker in them. I think Philly, they've already almost secured playoffs. They're looking like they're going to be the top spot. I think Minnesota, like you said, is a little iffy at times. But I think Tennessee's going to come into this game. I think their offensive line is going to do a lot better against this Eagles rush. And I think Hurts is going to have to make big throws if they want to win this game. And I'm not fully convinced on his ability to make these big throws, so I'm going to go Tennessee.
This
I
this
like
does
this pick a
seem a
lot.
game where like the Eagles kind of get
It's
too
later in
deep,
the
maybe
season,
like a
and it's a lot
Colts.
harder of a game than a lot of people would think.
Yeah. Well, I've been riding the Titans train not all year, the last like 3 weeks, because I feel like they're getting undervalued.
I think
this is
they're
definitely another
building
one.
up finally.
Yeah, they
Derrick
are.
Henry's finally building up his rushing. They're getting into their groove offensively. I think the game will really come down to if their defensive line can stop that rush and make Hurts have to throw for the win.
I love that, and I think their defensive line has been playing great for the past couple weeks at least, and pretty much all year. Their defense is good. Their rushing defense, and I feel like every time I say that a team's rushing defense is good, they always shit the bed the week I say it.
They should shit the bed the next week.
Yeah, but I mean I like this rush defense, and the Eagles. That's what their bread and butter is. They could run the ball down your throat, and if you can eliminate Jalen Hurts' rushing ability, I mean, you're right. Last week against Green Bay, 157 yards just by Jalen Hurts alone,
Yeah.
and then 143
Absurd.
by Miles Sanders. That's not going to happen this week. So
that doesn't happen.
letting Hurts throw, I like it. I like the pick, and it's 4.5. It's like they don't have to win.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it by
Exactly.
All right, I'm up next. I have the God. I'm going back with the Niners.
Why do you do it?
Because this
What do you
Raider,
do,
or no, sorry, no, not the Niners yet. I'm back with the Chargers. Niners is the last pick, but the Chargers +1 over the Raiders because the Raiders suck. The Raiders are garbage, and it's literally they just have to win, not even win the game. They just have to lose by 1 point. And if the Chargers are gonna lose this game at all, it would be perfect if it was by 1 point.
One of my biggest disappointments.
What'd you say?
One of my biggest disappointments this year, I think, has been Justin Herbert. I drafted him in fantasy. I was excited for him this year, and he's not played at his best in my
no
opinion.
one talks about it.
Nope.
Yeah, he goes through the motions a lot, and he has decent yards every game, but in the red zone, he hasn't been as productive as he used to be. I don't know. I've been disappointed with his output this year.
So have you guys seen Emmanuel Ocho? Ancho. He used to be a linebacker, played for the Eagles, and now he's on a talk show with, I forget what talk show it is, but he has been like the only one coming out and saying Justin Herbert, he's a social media quarterback. That's what he calls him.
Yeah. He got ripped for it, but
he got ripped for it.
Kind of right.
No, he is.
I don't know what he means exactly by he's a social media quarterback. The way I took it was like everyone on social media is just like, oh, like Justin Herbert, he needs more help. Like it's not his fault when.
Well, he has some good clips that everyone will show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what he really means by it. And I do agree, and I know that's going against what I said, but we've been down on this Chargers team all year. This is a bet against the Raiders. This is a bet against the Las Vegas Raiders. They've been playing.
You just hate Carr.
I don't like Carr. No, I don't like him at all. And the Raiders team, they had back-to-back wins. This is a letdown spot. Both those wins were in overtime. And Chargers division game. For whatever that's worth. And they should take care of business here. This is a team that they should beat. And if Herbert wants to continue being a social media quarterback, he'll lose this game.
I would never support a Chargers pick. I can't do it. This is a stay away game.
It's a bet against the Raiders. It's not even a Chargers pick. It's a bet against the Raiders.
Can't.
All right, Chris, what do you got next?
All right, this one I have the Seahawks -7 at the Rams. 7 points seemed like kind of a lot, honestly, for the Seahawks. But they just lost at home. I know this defense is horrific, but the Rams have basically punted on the rest of the season. This is going to be a home game for Seattle. There's not going to be a single Rams fan in the stadium.
I don't think there are Rams fans, even after they won. I don't think there are.
They just they showed up when they're good, just because they're people in LA and
they're rich people who want to buy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they're bad, they don't have like a loyal fan base that's going to show up regardless.
No,
So
because they're all stuck in
it's a
St. Louis.
home game for Seattle. Which, what do you say?
I said all the fans are stuck in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's right. But that's why I'm not too worried about the 7 points.
I
I
wouldn't
think
be.
this is another amazing
Yeah.
performance from Gino.
Yeah, I don't think, even though
I think
the
that's a good
Seahawks
pick.
defense has reverted back to being pretty bad, they, I just don't think this Rams team can muster up enough points to even come close to 7, to be honest. If Gino is playing like he's been playing all year, and we've been praising him week in and week out, even when they lost last week, Gino's going to put up points, and this Rams team is not. And no Aaron Donald either. That's great for Kenneth
It's simple
Walker.
as that. It's all the best players are out.
Yeah.
Up is done,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Cup's done for the year. Stafford's done for the year. And I'm guessing Donald's going to be
Ramsey's
done for
been
the year.
garbage anyway.
Yeah. And DK Metcalf, you could say Jalen Ramsey's the only one that's healthy, but he's been getting burnt all year. Metcalf's going to put him on the ground a couple times, I bet.
Yeah.
I love the pick. It's a
I
Gino.
think it's a very good pick.
Gino, another Gino pick. All right, Nick, what do you got?
All right. My second, I decided. I think Chris will really like this one. Going Washington.
Uh-oh.
-2.5 over the Giants. I'm liking Washington this year. I think they're doing a lot right. It's a big
they've
game.
caught lightning in a bottle.
It's a very big game against the Giants, and I think they'll know that going into it. I think they win this, and they're setting themselves up very nicely to make playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
coming off a good win against Falcons. I'm not entirely convinced by the Giants. I mean, I think yes, it's the win. I think Washington can go and get the job done. I think by a field goal they could end up winning it, or it could be Washington classic and lose by 1 point.
They have struggled in New York, but this does feel like an old school NFC East game. The Giants are failing.
Yeah, it feels like a very new Washington team that's kind of ready to try and go out there.
It's a huge letdown spot for them to get. Like, it feels like every other week is a letdown spot because this is one of the first big games played in December in a few years, and against a division rival who's been struggling recently. Like, that's obviously why they're favorites. But I mean, I think they're the better team by a pretty significant portion, to be honest.
So Chase Young's back, right? He's gonna play this game.
He should play.
So
he should.
Hopefully he reminds Daniel Jones that Daniel Jones can't hold the ball. So that would be great.
Our run defense has been really good. Like, that's the thing we've seen with the Giants these last couple losses they've had, where it's like if you slow down Barkley, they're done.
Yeah, you leave it in Daniel Jones' hands, it's not going in.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, the game plan for Ron has got to be let Daniel Jones throw it, and if he beats you that way, it's almost like, well, we had the game plan. He ended up throwing well,
and he does.
He had one good game a season,
which is always against Washington. So that's the part. That's the other part that makes me nervous.
We won't change it anymore. We'll just leave that pick there. Don't jinx you too bad this coming Sunday.
Chris, what's the confidence level? Is it and is this a must win?
No, it's not a must win. It's a must. You have to split versus the Giants because you get a bye next week, and then you get them at home a week after that. So a win puts them in really, really good position because then you get them at home. But a loss, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I feel good though. I'm not. The thing that I'm worried about is a Daniel Jones, Michael Vick type performance.
The Vanilla Vick
before.
You worried about the Vanilla Vick?
Vanilla Vick.
I mean, it's
he pulls that out, so be it.
Oh, he's so good against us every year. So that's what I'm worried about. If they come out and like he throws a pick on the first drive, I'll be feeling really good. Just show me like the real Daniel.
Get up early.
Quickly.
Get up
All right,
early.
he's not Baker Mayfield. All right.
All right.
Thanks.
My last pick is going to be, I guess you already heard it. The Bang Bang Niner Gang. I'm riding them again. Versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins have some injuries on the offensive line. I know they're a good team. I know they can score points at will almost. But the Niners have all these weapons. They can also score the ball. I like how the defense has been playing for the Niners. I like how Jimmy's been playing for the Niners, so I'm riding with them. And they're -4, which is kind of iffy. I kind of wish it was -3, but it's all right. I'm still riding with it.
You're on the Niners heater where it's like just take them until it doesn't work.
Yep.
So
Pretty
you can't
much.
criticize that.
Pretty much.
It's been working. They're like the hottest team in the NFL right now, I think.
Yeah, and
they look like the best team in the NFC.
That's the key to them. They have to win. They have to prove these games that they can win, or prove that they can win these games that are like they beat the Cardinals, they beat the Chargers, who we talked about are pretty fraudulent. They let up Andy Dalton to 0 points. So if they want to make some noise and show that they are the best NFC team, they should take care of business against this Dolphins team, or not take care of business, but put themselves on the real contender map.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Chris, what do you got?
This is another team I swore off probably 2 years ago. Taking the Falcons against the Steelers. -1.
You love this Falcons team.
I don't know what I like. I do.
And
it's another like they seem like a team where it's like win, lose, win, lose, win, lose the whole season. They lost last week, so this Steelers team like they took advantage of a sorry Colts team on Monday. Short week coming in. It's at the Dome in Atlanta, which is or something, I guess. I don't really know what I like about this Falcons team. They just play team. This is a weird one because they're the team that beats bad teams and loses to good teams. And I don't really know what the Steelers are.
This is a test, a good test for the Steelers, a good test for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And they've been doing well with him at the helm, and let's just see if they can keep it up. And I think betting against that is a better bet than just betting that it'll keep happening.
I think that they're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to shorten this game. It's going to come down to the end for sure. I think they forced Pickett into making a mistake.
Yeah, I think I've been impressed with Atlanta's defense overall. I mean, even when they've lost, it's been kind of close games, not really ending up with the ball in their hand last. I think especially going against kind of new quarterback with Pickett, I think I would back the pick.
You have experience with watching Atlanta too, because they're in your division.
Oh yeah, though with us, and we always go 1-1 against. We always split, no matter what year it is. Even when we went 15-1, that one loss, Atlanta. It doesn't matter the year. No matter what year it is, Atlanta and Carolina, we split. It doesn't matter. I don't know what it is about it. I couldn't tell you, but we just split.
It's a curse.
It is. It's a curse.
Are you guys on bye this week?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, we want to bye this week.
We'll talk to Nick. Make your last pick, then we'll talk some Panthers.
All right. My last pick. I'm gonna go the Detroit Lions. They're +1. But I honestly think they could go win this game by a good bit. Neither team's really that great. We got Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, I still think's not really in his stride at all. I think I like how dynamic Detroit can be, especially some of their wide receivers. And I could see this being a little bit more of a blown up game than just one point in between the two. I mean,
It's a letdown spot for the
that
Jaguars. Big
what's
letdown
up?
spot for them. I said big letdown
Yeah,
spot for the Jaguars. They just
And they
beat a
suck
yeah,
on the road.
yeah, they do
it
stink on
is
the road.
exactly.
Terrible outside of Jacksonville.
They're horrendous traveling. And Detroit usually is not too bad at home. They usually put in a decent game whenever they're playing at home. And I mean, again, it's kind of like both teams are not really in there. They're not really all out there. But I think Detroit is a little more dynamic on their offense. Uh, we'll see how Goff plays, but
It's crazy to
I think
consider the line.
Jamal Williams could have a. I think the running backs for Detroit will need to come up big. You got Williams. Is Swift back?
I have no idea.
He is, but like they're not.
They don't ever play him.
Because his situation's been so weird. Like injury, then he came back for a game, then he was injured again, and then he was back, but he only got like the minority of carries, and then he came in for one game just to play out the back for 5 rushes and then went out. So his whole situation's weird. But I mean, they have Jamal Williams. They have Williams who's been doing decent at running back for them. So
yeah, no, he's been playing. He's a touchdown machine, and he's been hawking up all of
right,
DeAndre Swift's
him red
touchdowns.
zone is automatic. So
Yeah.
I think, especially if Goff can get them to the red zone, just give it to Williams, let him pound it in, and that should work for them. I don't think Jacksonville's defense is good enough to really shut that down.
No, I don't think their defense is very good at all. Like their defense is not great, and
Yeah.
they have some pieces on offense. Trevor had a good game last week. If the Lions can do anything defensively to stop that, they're like Zay Jones going to go off again. Marvin Jones, like these guys.
I think it's gonna be high scoring. I think it will be high.
I agree.
This has potential to be like one of the most fun games of the week.
Definitely. Two fun young teams that
Get
have
the freaking Colts Cowboys off Sunday night.
I saw that. Why would you put that Sunday night?
Did you you listen to Pardon My Take with the flex of the year, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said this was and he didn't get it. That can't be on Sunday night. That they just gotta get these bad teams off of Sunday night, including my New England Patriots, who play prime time the next 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, dear Lord.
And I brought it up.
We didn't even talk about that.
I thought I was gonna escape out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I thought I was gonna escape out without having to.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna let that. Yeah, we gotta have a little discussion on that.
They're not good. They're not good. They are the good bad team. And maybe not even that, because they lost to the Bears. But they're not good. Mac is super frustrated with the offensive coordinator, just like everyone else is. He was caught yelling on the sideline, yelling at Matt Patricia, saying, let us effing throw the ball. These run plays aren't working. And he's right. Matt Patricia has one game plan, and it's the same run over and over and over again. Our leading receiver this game was Marcus Jones, our punt returner / corner. He had one big long touchdown that got me excited at the beginning of the game. We were up 7-3, and after that, the offense just couldn't muster up any points. And the defense, they were getting tired out there towards the end, and they played as well as they could. The corners really they just got torched by everyone. And every time they needed a big play, they got it. What I was really mad about is that James Cook played out of his mind. I thought that guy stunk, and not like his whole career was gonna stink, but this year he was not good, has not been good, and of course this Pats team lets him go all over the field on him. At this point, just lose the rest of them. You're not going to make the
Do you think?
playoffs. This was a must win. I said it last week. It was a must win to
Yeah.
make the playoffs. And you're the bottom of the division. You should just stay the bottom. And the rest of these teams have been good because they've had high draft picks. Pats haven't had a high draft pick in 20 years. Get one, get a good wide receiver, get a fucking offensive coordinator to save the fucking Mac Jones' career. And like I still this game did not make me think Mac Jones wasn't good.
Mhm.
I just
I
think
was gonna
that
say,
he's say
do you
again,
think he
Nick?
just doesn't trust? Do you think he just doesn't trust Mac Jones? Like
No, they don't
because I
trust him.
really get.
I think he's just an
I don't
idiot
get.
too.
Yeah.
You have a young quarterback, like, and he's shown like some promising glimpses, but
Mhm.
when you don't really give him a fair, I don't think he's been given a fair shot at all.
No, I don't think he has
You
either. And last
you're
night's
giving him
game,
he's got no wideouts. He's got no one that he can toss it up to and make a one-on-one grab, which a lot of QBs have. Um, and then you only having him throw it a couple times a game, and you're running on most downs. It doesn't really add up, especially when the run's not working at all.
and what's mind-boggling is that I think even last night he was something like it was like 8 for 11 and 90 something yards off play action, and it's like it may like let that. Why is that not the game plan? Why is if you're gonna run Ramondre Stevenson into the offensive line, which sucks every other down, why not just make it play action eventually and do like and let him cook? I mean, we saw it against the Vikings last week that he can be a good quarterback and throw the ball on this team right now, and they just don't trust him, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Um, they need a real offensive mind behind him. They can't have Patricia to keep doing this. He should not have a job right now. He shouldn't have had a job 3 weeks ago. And I don't know what Bill Belichick has the love for him, but he sucks. And our best wide receiver is Kendrick Bourne, and he hasn't been able to play all year because he's in Matt Patricia's doghouse because he skipped one meeting in OTAs, I believe, or was late to one meeting in OTAs, and has still been benched for the majority of every game. And they have Devontae Parker, sorry. They have Nelson Aguilar, they have Jacoby Myers. Those are all solid wide receivers, but they don't have that number one wide receiver that really puts them over the top. They should try to get off the Jonnu Smith contract because they just don't use them. They should throw the ball to Hunter Henry more and get rid of that Nelson Aguilar contract too. Try to get some picks higher up. Try to get something. We need a number one corner and we need a number one wide receiver. And the team can be really good if they have those two things, but they just don't have it.
That's I mean, you're missing studs.
Yeah, no, we're
Basically.
missing the blue chippers that every other team has. There's a
Yeah.
reason why there's barely like if you look at the NFL Instagram, there's a reason why the Pats are never on there. It's because they don't have that
Right.
playmaker. They don't have they don't have the guy like the recognizable figure on this team is Mac Jones when you're an outsider that doesn't follow the Patriots.
Yeah.
And when it's just Mac, like literally it's Mac Jones and I guess Stevenson's earning his name up and rightfully so, but that's it. That's it. And you need more if you want to be a good team in this NFL. And I guess
Just
Juju.
I say it as a Commander fan that every year there's a game where you just like realize how little faith you have in your team.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like because it's been building up to this because every time you've won a game, you've complained about it in one way or another, which like I gave you crap for, but also was kind of warranted. And like you had the game last week where you did look good offensively at least, and a couple of things didn't go your way, and then this week it just kind of fell apart.
And what sucks is like the
I think
Cardinals.
Nick's frozen, by the way.
No,
Oh wait,
he's
never mind.
back. He's back.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good.
What sucks is like the Cardinals stink, so that could be a win and try to get my confidence back up. But I'm at the point if you go 6-9 or what? No, it's way more than that. 6-11. You can get a top 5 draft pick in this league. Look at the standings right now. Everyone has. I mean, I guess the Broncos have three wins, and the Texans have 1, but everyone else has like 4. So
Mhm.
if they win a couple games, you could just rise up in the draft order, and you just got to get one of those studs, man. Got to get someone. And it's been years of the Pats at me begging them to get some stud, and like I like Cole Strange still. I think he's a good pick, but you could have gotten him later. You could have gotten him in the second round. Could have gotten him in the third, and you could have gotten one of those blue chippers in the first round. And those are just the things that haven't been happening. I still trust Belichick because I still think the defense is decent enough. Like we only held the Bills to 24 points, and it seems like they could have scored 50. But
Yeah.
that's the offense is the issue. Biggest issue. Oh, I got it off my chest.
Anywho,
yeah.
Another team that
from one shit team to another.
Nick?
Yeah.
The Panthers, we've been up and down with the Panthers a lot. I guess it was the start of last season where that they were our blueprint team, that they were doing things the right way, and like they're set up, they just need a young quarterback to come in. And then I think we kind of hopped off the train because last year went off the rails. Like Darnold did not work. And this year it's like we never know if they're going to get absolutely torched or if they're going to like be frisky.
We'll start off with the quarterbacks. I mean, you bring in Darnold. Well, let's go back all the way. We get rid of Cam, right? Cam's gone. We bring in Teddy Two Gloves. We got Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback. That's not really working well. He's not ever since the injury. Unfortunately, I love Teddy, but since his injury, he wasn't the same player. He was never going to be. So then we signed Darnold going into last season. Things are kind of looking exciting. I know. I was like, oh, it's just because he was on the Jets. That's why he looks so bad. It's the Jets. I was wrong. Whenever he throws the ball, he looks directly where he's throwing it. And cornerbacks and linebackers, they see that. They see exactly where he's throwing it, and they make a play on it almost half the time. Unless the guy's wide open, it's not going to be a completed pass, and it leads to so many like interceptions that could be avoided so easily. And I think that's the most frustrating point. Is Sam Darnold, he'll drive us down the field all the way 80 yards, red zone will throw a pick, and it's just for nothing. And it's happened so many times. So many more times than I can count as it happened, and it's just like, oh, this is a good drive. Nope, never mind, pick. Okay. So then I was off the Darnold train, went on the Baker train. What a letdown that one's been. Like, oh, Baker did decent on the Browns. Like, all right, we've got a decent quarterback. And it all stemmed because we wanted to build our team around a running back. Our main star was Christian McCaffrey. We were going to build the team around Christian McCaffrey. And it was a new idea. I thought it was interesting. I think it's not a good idea now anymore because of how it turned out.
Regardless of what you think.
Yeah, I mean, he's not on the team anymore. It's not. It didn't work.
But yeah, I mean, that trade, yeah, it's frustrating because he was carrying us. But then again, we've got Foreman who's come in, and he's still rushing well. I think last game he got over 100 rushing yards. He's been rushing pretty fine for being a backup running back. I think it's our offensive line's been doing a hell of a job up there for a lot of the games. But yeah, I think I've said plenty of times, like, oh, Carolina's just rebuilding. Like, we got to start over after our Super Bowl loss. Like, we sold everyone, the big rebuild. We tried to rebuild over the running back. It didn't work. And I think now we're back to square one of a rebuild, which kind of blows as a fan because we've waited now 3 years with an incompetent head coach in Rule, and then now
I
who
love
knows?
that rule.
I'm curious on who we bring in the offseason. I mean, I had pulled up earlier a short list of some possible coaches that are like available, but a lot of them are college, and
You already went that route.
we already went college and we saw it worked out. So I'd rather not, I'd rather not try that again. I think it was worth it. It was worth a try, but it didn't work out, and there's no point in us trying again. I think it would just set us back horrendously. I did see something funny where they said Panthers could target Harbaugh as a new head coach, which would be interesting. But
Jim?
that's the only one that I really saw.
Gotta be
Or
Jim, right?
they said Tomlin. I don't know, but I don't think I would want
Tomlin's
Mike
not
Tomlin.
gonna get fired.
I think it's more
Harbaugh's
we
not
would just be
staying
sending.
in Michigan.
We would have to pay a good bit, but then again, with all the players we're selling.
So
and then
wait, before you keep going.
I think Jason Garrett wants to be a head coach again.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Before we keep going though, you keep mentioning the selling of players and the rebuild. I still think this defense is good. Am I crazy?
our defense is pretty like they're not. We're gonna do the good old defense solid, build that up, and then build the offense later. Our defense has been playing solid most of the year. I mean, what was the one game we got absolutely slaughtered? I forget who it was against, but like there's been a couple we've gotten absolutely slaughtered. But like
Bengals.
we held
Niners
Ravens.
and Bengals.
Yeah, Niners. Bengals was a rough one. Niners, but I mean we held Atlanta to 15. Ravens we held to 13, which I was impressed with that. Buccaneers we held to 3. I mean, for the most part, our defense has been solid this year. It's just building up that offense, and I have no clue what we're doing for quarterback. Are we gonna draft one, or are we? Because we already got 3 that are in the roundabout of who the hell is gonna start this week. And none of them. Every week it's a new one. I mean, they were all right. I think we're starting. I know I told you this, Brady. It seems like they got a hat with the 3 names in it right before they released the team sheet. They're putting their hand in the hat. They pick out it. Oh, Sam's starting this week. Sorry, guys. Or, oh, it's Baker this week. Or they go, oh, it's PJ this week. I would prefer just sell Darnold. Get Darnold's contract done. I don't. It's not worth keeping.
We said don't bring any of them back. We said that
Baker as well. Just get Baker. I think stick with PJ Walker until.
That's I don't think they ever should have been.
Furious about that Atlanta game with PJ's Hail Mary to DJ Moore to tie the game. We missed the extra point to win it, and then we miss a field goal in overtime, and then we lose the game.
Eddie Pinheiro curse.
I'm shocked that man is still on the team.
Oh no, that should be an immediate cut.
If I was the head coach, I would on his drive home. I would tell him, "Don't come back.
Yeah,
don't come back."
You're staying in Atlanta that game, Eddie. It's got to be the quarterback. They have to if they get a top 5 draft pick, which it looks like they're going to get. They have to get one of those quarterbacks. It's a great quarterback class. It'd be stupid to pass on one this time.
And Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or CJ Stroud or who's the
I'm hoping for Stroud. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm off of Stroud. Did you guys watch the Michigan game?
I actually didn't. The Cox were on, but
I was watching both.
It was not good.
Game. It'll be. We have to go quarterback. I mean, you can't not.
Yeah. And if you get a new head coach, he'll pick the guy that he likes. It won't be like he's coming in with some guy that they just drafted and it wasn't him.
Dead weight.
Yeah. There's
So, yeah,
definitely promise for this team, especially with the defensive cornerstones that they have already.
I
And
mean, Jeremy Chinn's becoming a very good cornerback for us. He's doing really well. Ryan Burns has been every quarterback's nightmare except for a couple this year. He's gotten tons and tons of sacks. So, I mean, we've
J.C.
got a
Horn,
lot of
baby.
star players. J.C. Horn's back. He was such a miss. Thank
Yeah,
God
they
he's back
really
this
missed him earlier this season.
year. And I'm glad he's playing just as well as he was before the injury. So him being
It's always a good
back,
sign
we
to
got
see.
our quarterbacks have good, and they're set up to grow with the team for a while. Same with the line. It's just the offense. We got DJ Moore, but other than that, I mean, there's not really a lot of offensive threat there.
As much as it's gonna suck to say because he's your best player on the team, but he's the last guy that needs to be sold. I think.
Yeah.
If you can get a second or a first for him, which is
If
very
we can get a
possible,
first round pick, if we can get a first round pick for him, I think we take it.
I think you have to take it. And
I think it sucks, but it's the same as McCaffrey. It's looking at it and it's looking on. If we don't, we have a massive wage that we have a massive contract that we have to keep paying, and that prevents us from going out there and securing other positions that need reinforcement and need like some players to sign in.
you can trade him the Pats if you want. I'll give you a second round pick.
You're on everybody, like every person that's getting offered up. Like, the Pats could use him.
They could. We just discussed this. They could. DJ Moore would be a
Could use
perfect Patriot.
Anything and everything.
I know he's not electric enough.
He's not mid enough. That's the issue.
Oh, fun fact. When I was
He's too good for them.
I just saw something. Apparently, Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper is getting investigated and may be going to prison.
Oh, that was a big purchase too.
Training facility.
For what? Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah,
hear
that was pretty
Field
recent.
training facility in South Carolina. I'm trying to find more on it. Hold up. I just saw that he's being criminally investigated.
Oof. That's not good luck.
That's not great.
Super
Welcome to the
fun.
club.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, Chris, you know all about this.
I do. If you need legal advice, I've been through it. I've seen it all at this point.
Yeah,
If he doesn't want to sell, he'll never sell.
Public money lure failed 500 million complex. Jesus.
Oh.
Well,
All right.
that's fun. That's a fun way to end.
And the
on
disastrous
that
season.
And the Panthers on that note. Just another bad news.
It's all right. It's at this point, you're at the point where it's like, you win a couple games, you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, you win a game or two, you're gonna
this
be
year's a
excited.
wash. This year's a wash. I think next year's also going to be just again rebuilding. I think then you got to start looking at you need to make playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Needs something like within the next 2 years. We need something.
Which is funny
something
because they could still win. They could still make the playoffs this year. Still very possible.
We can, which
they
is
could
really
win the division.
bad because the NFC South is a horrendous.
I honestly thought at one point you guys were going to win the division.
That Atlanta game, we would have won that one. We would have been top at what was it, 4-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
That was the game that I said should have been on Sunday night.
Yeah.
It was a great game.
Now you have the Seahawks coming up, the Steelers, Lions, Bucks, and Saints, and you've proved that you could beat the Saints and the Bucks already.
These are
all winnable games.
I think Seahawks is one that might be out of our reach. But then Steelers, I'm not convinced.
Anybody.
Steelers, I'm not convinced. Lions could be winnable, and then Bucks and Saints are both winnable games. Granted, they're away, so that's a little harder. Mm-hmm. Both winnable games. That's 4 wins there. Depending on what Atlanta does, it's still very possible, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be possible, but it is.
And you get into the playoffs and anything can happen.
Yeah, we lose the wild card match. We get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, by the
At home
Cowboys
because you're a
in the
division
first
winner.
round of the playoffs.
Yeah, at home, at home.
They're like 13-point underdogs.
We just laid out every possibility for the Panthers. I just want to put that aware.
Yeah, we did.
We just
They ended up getting like basically the top
If
pick.
we made playoffs this year, I think if we made playoffs, I would be ecstatic, but also
I would just be concerned for the rest of the division.
Yeah, like
yeah,
where would
the
you
rest
go?
of the division should be put to shame. Absolutely put to shame for letting us qualify.
All right, we got to discuss some other games before we move on. Bears Packers. Is Justin playing?
I was looking at it before.
Oh, on track to
and
start
he's
10 minutes
practicing
ago.
full. So he
Oh.
should.
Yeah, nice. That's that'll be interesting. Hopefully, I mean, honestly, if you're the Bears, I would just shut him down. Why risk him getting hurt again? Or hurt for longer?
And Aaron Rodgers' career.
Yeah,
Like, if he loses to the Bears, it's over.
Yep,
Done.
that's true. Yeah, it is worth it for this game, I guess. Let's throw him out there. What other? Oh, the Diddler. He's back, and he's facing the worst team in the NFL.
It's like one of those games where you want Houston to win so bad because of the situation, but they're literally like a bad college team.
Yeah, they suck. They like that's one of the guarantees. There's not a lot of guarantees that you can make in this NFL year, but that is one of them. That they suck.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will look very bad every week.
So, I mean, I just hope he throws 5 interceptions and sucks ass. I wouldn't even mind an injury either. You know, get him injured again.
I'd be okay with an injury.
Yeah, I'd be alright with it.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's not one that requires a massage.
Yes. Do you see 10 accusers will be at the
somehow.
game?
Yeah,
And
why?
Boo them. That's why. And it's in Texas. It's in Texas, so that's that's where it happened. And I got, I guess, insider information. Yeah, not even, but yesterday, one of my buddy's girlfriends, we were watching the Pats game, and she's like, I was talking about Deshaun Watson, and she was like, my parents live like down the street from when Deshaun Watson was when he was in Houston, and he said right outside the neighborhood there's endless massage parlors, just endless. She was like, there's like 5 of them right outside the neighborhood. So gross.
Really?
I hope he tears ACL or something. All right, then the night games, 2 garbage games. Cowboys, Colts,
absolute cheat.
and Saints Bucks, which we put a ban, Nick, on the Saints because they haven't started Jameis yet.
Until Jameis starts.
Yeah.
Until Jameis starts, we put.
So is this going to be the only, I guess, question about this game? Is this going to be another Sunday night Tom Brady collapse against the Saints? Because I feel like we see it every year. Oh, well, I guess it's Monday night, but prime time collapse
Monday
against the
night.
Saints.
I think it's gonna be a stinker from both of them. To be honest.
I think it will too. I think
Don't
the Bucks are
expect
going to win
much
like
from
16-13.
Yeah.
I'd say under 20 for both teams.
Ugh. They got it. How many weeks in a row are we going to get bad primetime games?
It's getting ridiculous.
It really is. Next week they did flex the Steelers, I believe, out of, I don't know. Actually, I don't remember who it was, but now it's Dolphins Chargers. That's actually a good game.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
So thank God.
I mean, I'm not excited about the Chargers, but
Chargers on primetime, ready to put up 16
yeah.
points. They're just itching to put up 16 points.
They usually do give good games on primetime though. Like that.
Yeah, they're normally exciting.
Chief teams have been good.
Yeah. All right. That covers the week. We have some news stories coming out of the NFL world. Mr. Antonio Brown is back in the news. He is bunkering himself in Tampa Bay, in his apartment in Tampa Bay, with the police said that they're waiting for him to get out because he had a assault to battery on some woman that he was with, and the police pose him as significant danger of causing personal injury to him or herself or others in the near future and beyond by having a firearm and any ammunition in their custody or control, or by purchasing, possessing, or receiving a firearm and ammunition. So he has multiple firearms on him in this apartment. I don't know if there was any update on this situation, if they got him yet.
I was just looking, there's not. How could there not be an update on this?
I'm trying to see if it's in this news article. It's not. But they're basically just waiting for him to
Everything
come
I've seen
out.
was like a day ago.
Yeah, and they're just the police are just waiting for him to come out, and Antonio Brown yelled at the police, "We're not going anywhere." So the clown's back in the news. He's becoming
Yeah, but this is a little bit more serious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Yes, definitely. And I was just about to say, he's becoming our generation of O.J. Simpson. What if he gets in a Bronco and just starts running down the highway? Yeah. That's gonna be on every. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's not nearly as famous as O.J. Simpson was, and he's been crazier way before O.J. Simpson got crazy. But it's our generation's version of this. I mean, he was all-pro wide receiver. I wrote a speech about him last semester in my speech class, how if he didn't go crazy, could have been possibly the best wide receiver this league's ever seen, and just completely punting on his career, and it's scary, honestly, to see a great athlete like this go through this terrible set of events.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, I got nothing else to say about it. I just wanted to point it out.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully everything in the situation ends okay. What'd you say, Nick?
I guess they're just still in the start. It sucks to see someone that was like top. He was number one receiver in the NFL for how many years?
Oh, it was
seeing him just
like 10 years in a row.
Yeah, seeing him just kind of plummet down into this. You never want to see it. But yeah, I guess they're still just like in that standoff.
I just hope. I mean, we just gotta hope that everyone in the situation ends up okay. But
yeah, hopefully there's no.
And hopefully he gets some damn help. He needs to stop hanging out with people that.
I'm hoping that if he does get put in custody, hopefully they can get him to maybe psychiatrist, something to help with some of this mental issues he's been having.
He needs to stop hanging out with Hitler too.
Individual. Oh dear.
Yeah, but we'll transition it right to Kanye. We got to talk about Kanye at least for a second. I mean,
no, we do.
The stuff he's been coming out with. He's suspended on Twitter. He made his campaign logo a swastika within the Star of David, and he's just insane. He's coming out. He's saying he likes Hitler. He liked what he did. He's just an insane person. And the thing that sucks is that because he's such a popular artist and a popular figure, is that we're going to keep covering his craziness, and he's going to use this as a platform to just keep doing crazy things. So I hopefully nobody gives him an outlet anymore to say anything, and he just lives his miserable life however he wants to live it. But he's a dangerman to the society, and for a guy who makes such great music, it sucks.
It's crazy. The character arc is pretty insane.
Oh yeah,
the villain arc.
Going to someone who was pretty universally loved, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
There didn't used to be many Kanye haters. To now, he's you can't possibly defend him.
No, there's no way defending him. And as you said, not only was he not bashed, he was praised. He's probably one of the best rappers the world's ever seen, and now he's coming in and doing shit like this. And I don't know what happened, what made him tick or snap finally, but
what broke inside him.
Yeah, and has this been within him all along, or is this just stuff that he wants to do to make news articles and make his I don't know, but it's insane.
I feel like that's got to play into it because he knows him doing this, he'll get in the news. He'll get I think it has to play into it. He has to know that if I make this my logo, it's gonna go everywhere. I'm gonna be talked about everywhere. Not in a good way, but I don't know. I don't know how on head and they go, yeah, this is a good idea.
No, and luckily every company that he's involved with is dropping him. All of his sponsors are dropping him, which they should.
Really good.
And it started out with like, him with the big like guy with Trump. He was up with him, and now it's just not even turning into a right wing conversation anymore. It's a whole Nazi conversation. So
Yeah,
it's really
radical.
insane. And the last thing I want to mention about him is that, Chris, did you see what one of his last bombshells was before he got off Twitter?
The Chris Paul thing.
Yes. So,
What did he say?
so Nick, do you know Chris Paul, the basketball player?
Yes.
So he said his last thing was, right before I get kicked off this thing, I want to say this. I saw Kim with this guy, and it's just a picture of Chris Paul on the Twitter feed. So Chris Paul is gonna lose the only ring he's ever got, and I mean, honestly, Chris Paul seems like a dog to me now. He's piping Kim.
Yeah, but also as a married man.
He's a married man with kids, yeah.
Not
But
great. Did you see the thing that it was just Cliff Paul?
Yes, it was
Wasn't
Cliff
actually
Paul the whole
Chris.
time, his brother. That is just, it's one of those things where like he went out and luck hopefully this just like, and it's kind of weird because it's switching to the attention of Chris Paul instead of what he's actually doing. But it's so funny to not ignore this Chris Paul story.
I know.
I want to see if there's any new thing about his marriage or anything that come out about it.
I haven't seen anything yet.
No, I haven't seen anything either. But I mean, the Kardashian curse, it's been on Chris Paul's shoulders this whole time. No one even knew it. He had the top dog, and no one even knew it. All right, that's really all I got to say about Kanye. You guys have anything else? Feel free. That's all I got.
I hope that this is the last that we have to hear
Cover him.
because like it can't get much worse than.
No, it really can't.
Say
I
that
hate
because
Jews and I like Hitler.
No, which sucks is like the next step is like him doing something like even more radical and endangering people.
like
So
yeah, like
that's
criminal.
like the next step. So
Next step
hopefully,
is seeing him.
yeah, it's like trying to gather up a bunch of Jews or something. And God, but you're right. Hopefully, this is the last we see of Mr. West.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more thing. It's an NBA thing, but if you guys got anything else, jump in. No.
Like college quarter?
Yeah, we can if you got some. Oh wait, yeah. I guess you're the big
We got
games
the game
tonight,
tonight.
Chris. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Illinois coming to town, rush game. So it's all I've been thinking about all day.
And you were excited that the student section sold out. You were tweeting about how every group me is trying to get a ticket. What do you the arena's it's gonna be packed, right?
It is going to be packed. Yeah.
That's good.
It's gonna be a
You were
madhouse
worried
in
about
there.
it a little bit, but I'm glad.
I
it's gonna
was
be packed.
because before I hadn't been there, but I think people are realizing that this is something that they want to be at.
Mhm.
Nick, as College Corner goes, you can just talk about anything that's going on, either with VT Sports in the program, being at school, anything you want to discuss. Go ahead.
Yeah, VT UNC coming up should be a good test for our basketball team. I've decided to forget all about the football season and just put all my eggs in basketball yet again. So
Same.
that's a good test coming up for them. But I mean, strong start to basketball this year. I mean, no one really that hard, but the UVA game, VT game, hopefully should be good for basketball this year, especially since we didn't have the football game. Rightfully so. I'm really glad they ended up canceling that, and we just kind of called it off because like didn't really feel right to have it after all that happened.
Yeah.
But I think it should lead to some good. Our basketball season's looking bright.
No, and the ACC has been down this year, so you guys have a real shot of winning
Like,
the
even Duke,
tournament again. Yep. Duke has 2 losses already. UNC has 3 losses already. It's looking good for if Virginia Tech can win some of these ACC games.
If we can keep it going and beat these top ones in the ACC, it's looking good for us to go into it. But yeah, that's all about I got with college.
Nice. I got nothing. The men's basketball team, they lost again to George W. It was embarrassing loss.
Dude.
Gigi Jackson, I feel bad for the kid. He tweeted out he apologizes to
He
Gamecock Nation.
apologized.
And
Saw that.
yeah, I still believe in the team. I think they can work things out. They have it's a year 0 with the new coach. So they don't have any
Yeah.
recruits that came from them. They just have a bunch of transfer guys. And what really sucks is that the Keyshawn Bryant from last year and Jermaine Kuznard, they could have helped a lot this year. Even Eric Stevenson, who was a great 3-point shooter
Mhm.
for us, all could have helped us last year or helped us this year if they stayed on the team, and they all transferred out once Frank got fired. But I still believe in the program. I'll still be at all the games, but it's not looking great.